This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side flyer, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess, Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Claudia Solis here, and you are now listening to Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show with Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rouge Energy and Player One Coffee. I am, of course, your host, James J. And it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with Claudia Solis.
Hey guys, how's it going out there?
How are you?
I'm fantastic. I'm feeling it tonight. It feels like an amazing day, an amazing night. It's easy. I love it.
It's a great day to be great.
Absolutely. That's what I always say.
Yeah. And it's a great day anytime we get to see Claudia. And when's the next time do we see you in action?
Next things that I have going up there are Slammin' Ladies. That's towards the end of January, rolling into February. And then in the middle of February, I actually have Mission Pro. That's going to be with my tag team partner, Shiva Queen, against Lady Bird and Gigi Ray. So that should be a really, really good one. Later on, I also have Dark Arts. It's pretty awesome out there, and then their entertainment is really cool. It's much more towards the gimmick of darkness, and I love that, especially with the new gimmicks coming out with me. So Claudia would be actually with claws and paws only.
And this Missing Pro, that sounds like a slobber knocker, and I love the fact that you said it's going to be a great win. Already claiming
absolutely. That's right, exactly. And you will it into existence. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. And where can we find you on social media and your merchandise?
Merchandise is only through me. I don't have it with anybody else. As much as I care to do that, I don't care to share either. So, being said that, yes, you have to actually DM me for anything when it comes to custom gears or anything that's merchants to be sold, especially with autographs. Now, I do have, of course, a lot of social media out there, going with Snapchat. We got Twitter. I also have the Instagram and Facebook. Those really are the main bases. I mean, I really don't use Twitter too much, just because I just find a lot of negative stuff on there. And you want to always be in control of your life and a good positivity around yourself, and that's where it starts.
All right. And you can find all of Claudia's social media, the links to all of her social medias in the description of the video below, or on YouTube and Castbox. Alright, let's get started. You wrestle for River City Wrestling and Vixen Wrestling Revolution. Can you tell us about your relationship with those two companies?
Absolutely. With Vixens, it is a home-based promotion in here in Houston that's gone on for years, just as much as RCW. RCW is located in San Antonio, Texas. Both are very prominent and promising wrestling promotions out there, and man, they've got some great talent. Now, Vixens is basically an primarily all women's show, to where RCW is intergender and male and female. So, out and going out towards this way, you find a ton of promotions, but some are these are pretty much some of the longest running promotions, and we're going past like 10 years, and that's pretty awesome to be a part of.
That's right. Vixen Pro's been out there for a while. And how does how do you feel about being a part of, an all-female, a primarily all-female roster?
It's pretty important, actually. I mean, depending on what side of the spectrum you're on, I mean, a lot of people can see it as an, oh, you're only trying to get the guys out there. But no, actually, in today's world, and we pioneered for a lot of things, is that women's wrestling is and can be more dominant than it is now. There's a ton of women out there, a great experience that we paved the way. You know, it's no longer something that you can just look forward to. It's, hey, we have little girls that want to be us, you know, want to do the same things that we do and being a role model for that. There's a lot of stuff out there, and high flyers. You have technical, I mean, man, and you have pound and ground people. And I mean, it's just a wide spectrum, and it's pretty awesome to be a part of that show because you get to all aspects if it was an all male show to begin with, like years ago.
Right, and it does seem like there has been, all-female roster shows have been kind of jumping onto the spectrum as of late. Obviously Miss Intro and CCW as well.
Absolutely. You actually have some that are just going full on women's promotion, you know, like something like I'm sorry, I want to say Mission Control. like, I'm so sorry. But, you know, I'm sorry, all over around, the cool part about this is that when you have promotions that are turning just women, it's because you also know that they put asses in the seats. They get the job done. You know, they have respect for themselves and everybody around them just as much as the guys can. And they actually dish it just as much as the guys can. So that's pretty promising when you have a show that has a great turnout just as much as the guys do. And when we work together, of course, I don't think there should be gender inside that. No real talk or backlash on it, which there always has been in the past. But now you see girls that can just dish it out, and that's truly amazing.
Oh, absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing you at Mission Pro as well. So that's awesome.
Thank you. That would be awesome.
All right. Let's talk about a match you had recently. You wrestled Christy James for the RCW title. Can you tell us about that match, competing for the title? And obviously, Christy is somebody, well renowned and respected on the independents as well.
That match was about a year ago. Let's see. I really enjoyed the match because Christy's out, she's out there. She's very outgoing. She's very outspoken too. It's pretty awesome to be around that character and that energy. You could feed off of it back and forth. So the entanglement on there is just pretty awesome. When you get to hit, blow to blow, move to move, it looks really awesome to see people not just getting technical with it, but almost for that fight that they really need that spot.
Oh, absolutely. And there are some, there are some similarities with Claudia and Christy as well, no?
Nope, not at all. I don't think so. Totally two fucking different people. I mean, besides that we're females, I don't think so. But if you want to cut to it, we can say, well, yes, me and Chrissy actually do have some similarities together in there besides the love of wrestling. From where she started and where we kind of crossed paths at was Anarchy Championship Wrestling. We've never gotten to wrestle one-on-one when I was younger, when she was younger. So it's one of those things that is pretty much of a privilege to work now, and then that we did. So I love her style. She mixes it just like I do. So it's very versatile. So I was actually even nervous wrestling her because it's pretty much an honor seeing some of these girls grab up to the top, go to these different places, and you feel like, well, man, I feel like she's out of my league now. I got to get back in the leagues, So yeah, in that aspect, we are very much alike, and I'm very outgoing with mine, and my own self and character is very versatile as much as in the ring as she is. That way, we share so much in common. Absolutely.
All right. Can you tell us about your mask and wrestling underneath a mask as well?
So I have started wrestling with mask, and a lot of people are really kind of taking to it. I've had this kind of planned a majority of my life, and I haven't been able to deliver on it because I've been Claudia, the dancer, the flamboyant, like just out there baby face, and I've never got to be the heel that I've always wanted to be because I was always the new one, pretty face, long hair, and I just felt like I wasn't being me. And I remember one day one of my friends, Lowrider, was even saying, "No, you should just be yourself." And I was like, you know what? Yeah, that's what I want to do. Typically it's like the older you are in the generation of wrestling, you turn heel, it makes things easier. Technically, it doesn't matter for me. Sometimes money matters more. And I mean, that's great to make money off of people and you're a baby face and you can sell merchandise left and right. For me now, it's just more like I want to be me. If you're able to buy my merchandise and feel that and love that nightmarish kind of werewolf thing, that's me. I like that. I like the scary movies. When I was little, I've always wanted to be the character that played a werewolf. I'm not talking furry here. I'm talking about like just the creativity of like, ooh, that's scary. Like there's not many gimmicks that are scary anymore, like the Undertaker and stuff like that. And I just kind of wanted to embrace it for a change, whether people like it or not, or it's just different, or it's just not their cup of tea because kayfabe is no longer kayfabe. It's just reality, and we all know it. But having that mask, because I have two of them, but even into wrestle with them, kind of brings the fun out in what I like of being the beast and the heel, and people even relating to the heel at some point in time, and that's okay because wrestling has changed, and you don't always have to follow it, and you don't always have to change it. It's just one of those things where I'm being me, I'm understanding what I can do with it and pursuing that. And one day that when I'm done, I'm actually going to be fulfilled because I got to be me and do what I want.
Right, and we recently had somebody on that works, with a mask and sometimes works without the mask. And he was saying, when I do actually put on the mask, it's kind of liberating. You kind of, it's a little bit more freeing. No?
I can see that. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think the question I get with wearing the mask is, can I try it on? Can I feel it? Can I touch it? Nobody asked me. It was like, oh, well, can I have one, or can I take it, or oh, it's okay. It's like, no, I actually get a lot more questions about my masks, and my ass. I'm not gonna lie, but my point is I have so much fun, especially with the fact that those masks kind of represent that, I like horror movies, I like the werewolf movies, and I like my dogs, and I'm an animal lover, and, this was my cool way of, like, putting almost like a spirit animal to it, and, just be badass in something else. I didn't have to be dancing all the time, and when I get in there, I still love my tassels no matter what, but this is just a different side where I could pull out the claws and actually use an eagle claw and call it my own, So, I definitely enjoy the heel turn. I embrace it a lot on social media. People are really starting to like it more and more, especially on the lucha side, because you can wear the mask. Do I always wear the mask? No. Sometimes I don't. It just depends on what I'm doing or some of the moves that I have, or I feel like I just don't want to wear the mask. Wearing makeup is kind of cool sometimes, and, I don't always wear that.
Yeah, I completely understand that. What are some of the advantages and disadvantages of wrestling under a mask?
So the misconception of, I guess, which is being Mexican American and Latino overall, to wear the mask, you have to have the mask, you can't take it off.
Right.
Well, I like having it off and I like having it on, and then sometimes it's full put on display. And when I have the mask on, a lot of people say, well, you can't see. Yes, I can see. I can very well see. Can you move it around? You got to tighten that up every once in a while. The breathing aspect on it, that will totally blow you up. That cardio's got to either be in check or know exactly when you're going to, take the mask off. So most people don't know I have two different ones, but one of them you can actually take off the bottom portion of the mask, so it's actually easier to breathe. But you know, when you leave on the bottom one, it looks really cool, but it's harder to breathe than that. And yeah, you suffer behind it. That's okay. It's fine. The way you land and the way you position yourself, you do got to be careful because you don't want to injure anybody. It's not like it hurts, but you definitely want to be, you want to watch what you do with your own gear. You know, that has to last very long.
Right. The second one with where you can take off the bottom portion, that's the muzzle one, right? The one with the muzzle.
Correct. I love it. Yes, that's my favorite. That's my baby.
Was that when you had it designed? Was that something you had in mind already to have it taken off, or was it something that they came to you with?
No. That's something that I wanted. It took about three different people to understand what I wanted for the mask. So the first person that I was kind of nominated to try and make the mask, they said no, I can't do that. Which they turned it down respectfully, and then they said the dynamics of it, you're not going to be able to do this, you're not going to be able to do that. No. And I said, okay, well, I almost thought to myself, well, shoot, I'm just going to have to make this myself, you know. The second guy, we'll remain nameless because he didn't do so well. It totally looked like a chupacabra, and it did not. The mouth, the muzzle did not protrude. And if it's something that I'm really, really very, very prominent on, is that my gear, everything has to look and be in my imagination like I want it to. Like I don't want to just wear anything. You know, I want it to match and fit, and if it doesn't match, I want it to have a purpose. I had that going. So midway after even putting the deposit down, I told him no thanks. So he split me on the deposit on that, and basically I just paid him for labor, and I had to take my loss. And he really didn't see the vision behind it. Well, I kept looking at other masks and things to do, and you know, Mecha Wolf has a mask, and there's a few others that actually kind of have like an actual mask where they just have the muzzle on. And that isn't exactly me. That wasn't exactly what I was going for, because I wanted to do something a little bit more towards a lucha side. And the reason was because I wanted the colors to display over on the gear so I can mix match with it. So I found somebody, and he's like, well, I can try. I can't make promises. Took me like a year for the masks, both of them, to come in. And I only ordered one, and he goes, no, I want to get you another one. I want to do this. So he was playing around with it, and man, I fell in love with it. You know, those were meant for me. Those were my design. He put my idea to life, and I mean, I know it took forever. And if this ever really, really got to him, he'd be like, this bitch. But to be honest, it was all like that. That was a part of me that just fell in love with it. And I was like full on like, no. And some promoters were like, no, we don't want to put you as heel. We don't want to do this. So I got two masks. I got one that was more of a black, I guess, kind of portraying a heel, and then you have another one that was a silver one, and that was kind of like, okay, you know, one's this dog and one is that dog. That's what represents to me. There's my babies, my puppies, and you know, I guess I can try doing more of a face with this, and I don't really intend to, but the heel portion and heel side of it, a lot of people had to kind of swallow that pill and was like, fine, we'll try it. Because I just had more people wanting me as a face. Even when I tried going heel, it was like, nah, crowd was not having it. And I was like, I got to do better. I got to do something, because saying stuff to people outside the crowd was just not working. So I stayed face with that. So it's been kind of hard, I will admit, because it's new. But lately, the past 4 or 5 shows, everybody has really loved the wolf gimmick. And a werewolf is something that's cool. That's the nightmare thing that I can dig, because it's part of me.
And you know, I love the fact that you had all of that in your mind, what you wanted it to be, that you wanted it to match your gear, because gear is very important in the world of professional wrestling.
It does, yeah. It's like, sadly people don't really see it like this, but it's like a popularity contest. Whatever pops, whatever catches your eye. If what catches your eye is going to catch your mind, and then you're going to be intrigued, and one thing leads to another. So, I do want to get new gear. I do want to have more things to put with it. Sadly, I just had a guy just fail me on some gear, and we're not even going to get into that because I could show you the shitty stuff that he did with it. And we had some words and everything like that. So I have no problem really like pushing that out because I've been nice for so damn long. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? No, I've waited a whole year and a half for this gear. I'm so fed up with it. Called him up and was like, this needs to be done. Of course, he didn't promise. He didn't even deliver on it. And then finally when he sent it over, it was horrible. It was horrible. It's literally right next to me, and I can't wait to throw it away. but that's how I am. It's like I want the delivery of things to go smoothly. There's a lot of ways to go in and wrestling on this. Is you're just plain naturally badass, and you can go in there with a jeans and a shirt and rock it. And you have people that have to grasp attention in different ways because you just look normal, or you have to set aside your hair, eyes, something that if everybody's wearing black, what do you want to do? You want to wear something else.
Right.
You have to be different. Yeah.
Now you mentioned, if somebody could make the mask, you would have to make it yourself. Any special skills of knowing how to make masks and gear and stuff like that?
I have stitched a couple of outfits together when I was younger, but nothing as gear. When I was younger, I used to pull clothes apart and sew them back in different ways and things that I liked that I wish I would have had when I was like wrestling. And of course, at the time I was just in school. I actually wasn't wrestling, and it was just kind of neat because all those things that I made kind of came to life. But no, I don't. I've tried, and I've bought a sewing kit. I've gone to the extent of buying an actual machine, and I have not the time nor talent to do it. So I was like, you know what? You want something done right, just pay for it. And yeah, so I've had to go that route. I couldn't do it myself.
That 4-minute YouTube tutorial wasn't going to help you.
No. Nay.
Now, I'm not sure if Cage Match is correct on this. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. But there was a 4-year span where you did wrestle?
So I was in a car accident. And yeah. So there was one time, it was about a year and a half that I actually had to take on hiatus. And that was when I was on my bike and a car went ahead and went beside me and pulled out his door and knocked me off on my bike. So that was one. And it was horrible. And you think, okay, well, somebody just knocked you off your bike. It's like, no. I tried standing up and getting up, and it was a whole big ordeal. And I was on the street. And you're going to be like, oh, you're on a bike. What are you doing on the street? Because there's no sidewalks, right? So you're just trying to get to your house 2 minutes away from your job. And it was a pretty shitty situation. So what happened after that, a few years later, I had gotten back in, and then I met somebody, and I was just kind of debating on calling it. And then I had an actual accident, and I was like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. Well, it wasn't until I couldn't fully rehab, and it was just really crappy. And then it got to the point to where I did not want to. I was really bitter for a while. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I got rid of a lot of things, almost deactivated the Facebook and everything like that. People that reached out to me, I didn't want to reach out to them. In fact, I just deleted everything. And then I said sorry to them, because it wasn't their fault. It was my fault. And then that's when I had gotten back in, and boom, then it all started up again.
What was the driving force of you coming back?
I think it was more that I didn't get to finish what I was trying to do. I still had all of these ideas and things that I wanted, and I had not accomplished them yet. So being said that, it was like, well, I've got to get it out of my system. And that's what happened.
Now that you are back, and it's been 2 years since you've been back, and we've been talking about wearing the mask and turning heel. Do you really feel like you're on that path in that road that you want to be on? That you, like you said, you had unfinished business. So do you feel like you're on that road?
I'm down that road. I'm just haven't, if you're asking if I'm finished with it completely, no. There are a few things, a little quirks and little things that I want to fix about it.
Okay.
So I'm not done yet. Yeah, absolutely not.
No, I didn't say you're finished. I was saying, are you on the road that you want to be to?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, early on in your career, you wrestled Jazz. I mean, at any point, Jazz is a legend. What was it like in that experience to wrestle Jazz?
I wrestled Jazz my first year of wrestling, and Louisiana was like my first state ever to. It was 3 months in training, and then a few shows here and there, and I was always in Louisiana. She's from Louisiana, and I just remember her walking me through every single thing that was needed, and super, super nervous. As getting to know her through the years, and her also even being in Texas, she's an astounding woman. She really is. She tells you like it is. She helps you with things. She sits back and watches. All kudos to that. And just a big, huge pioneer of women's wrestling, and to be taken seriously was even a hard thing to do back then. So even now, to see her now and be able to interact with the women now in training is pretty damn awesome. But yes, I was super nervous when I had first wrestler, and it was amazing. It was so awesome because I didn't have to do anything. In fact, the crowd hated me so much, and all the people that were like from Houston and whatnot, they just hated us. Like when we were walking out of the venue, they're yelling and screaming and blah, blah, blah. But as soon as she popped out, as soon as her, husband dog was out there, man, the crowd went wild because they had him in the palm of their hand. It was just awesome. It was really cool.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, Jazz. All right. I found this interesting. You told me, you was in a battle royal that ended in a no contest.
I can't remember. There's been too many matches. I've been in a battle royal, or is it a Guinness World Book of Records?
The 159 person battle royal.
Yes. That was for AWS in California, and I was the last female to be in there. I think I want to say I was the last of 13 people to be in there.
I just can't imagine being in the ring with 158 other people. what was that like?
The ring, 158 people, and there was I think three or four rings, and one of them ended up breaking.
Oh wow!
So when we're all taking our picture, and because the World Guinness Record has to count every single one, you will see at the beginning of the video, everybody's waiting before they all, start beating each other up and everything, that the ring breaks. So everybody's like, watch out for this and this ring there. So we're just kind of fleeing together so nobody gets injured.
What is that like? You're in the Guinness Book of World Records.
I think that's really neat. I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I don't follow it every day. I'm pretty sure one day somebody's going to break that record. That would be awesome. But to hold it and be a part of that is really neat.
Yeah, one day there will be 160 person battle.
60 plus. And there was people that came around from all around the country just to be a part of it. That was pretty neat. And it was just like a big, huge party after, because everybody got to network and, know each other, and people knew each other from here and knew from there, and you never met each other, but you're online and you know each other from there. Like, it was really neat.
Alright. Now, seeing you wrestle, the one thing that I found interesting is your boots. They're like construction boots. Some, and an odd color for pro wrestling. Can you tell us about your boots?
I have one of a kind boots. I don't have, there is no replica that I've ever seen that's ever had any of these boots. So my boots were intended to be leather, and the guy who made them was Clifford, who's made an abundance of wrestling boots for a lot of people in WWE back in the 80s. And when he made my boots, he asked me, what's going to be different, what's this, and I told him that I wanted to match my skin, and I've always wanted to wrestle barefoot. Like, that was the whole thing of being like the beast, the character, like what I wanted to be a long time ago, and I just wanted it to look like those were my feet. And he was like, okay, that's, he was telling me in Spanish, and somebody was translating for me. He's like, okay. He goes, well, do you want them to shine? I was like, nope. I want them to look raw, just completely raw, like papoose, like cover and everything raw. And he said, okay. He goes, you don't even want to finish on them? I was like, nope. I don't want that nice little type of, not the smooth finish. He's like, I didn't want that. And he said those are the only ones that he's ever made in his whole career that were like that. And I've never seen anybody else. Every time I look at other people's boots, Aces, or even some of the guys in Mexico, they'll ask me the same thing. And they're like, oh, how do you make your boots? Are they hard? Are they this? And it's like, no, they're just leather. They're nice, they're firm, they're not totally cardboard, where you can't totally move your feet. They're just safe on the ankle.
Right.
And those have been my boots forever.
That's awesome. And I kind of feel, watching wrestling all my life, I've never seen boots quite like that myself.
Yeah, I love it. Nobody has them. Yeah, absolutely.
And I prefer classical pro wrestling. I prefer some of the wrestlers now wear sneakers. That's great for them. But I always prefer wrestlers in boots. That's just the preference.
Yeah. I was just talking about this with somebody, and it's like no hatred for people that wrestle in shoes, because you really have to work with what you feel is best. I'm not going in there with a pair of Nikes. I can't tell you that I haven't done it, because I probably have or something. And I first started out with actual boots that you were, going to work with. And then I also had some Roman style wrestling boots, and it just did not really fit me on how I didn't feel comfortable. My ankles didn't feel well in them. So when I had actual boots and I had money, I wouldn't want it to look professional. I felt like if you're in this business and industry, people always told you to be a wrestler, you have to look like a wrestler. And with your gear intended, it's just like, don't half-ass it. So I got boots and I went to the man, and that was like my first real purchase, even aside from gear, gear you just kind of put together, but it was the boots that were so solidly imprinted and put in my head that that's what you need. But nowadays people just put on kind of like whatever and wear it. And to me, I don't hate on it, but I was told totally different. And you know what? It's okay, because things change and they're different now.
No, absolutely. And you mentioned wanting to wrestle barefoot. Is that something we should expect in the coming months?
Probably not. Some of the rings that I've been in or around or anything, I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm going to put my shoes on. I've been to shows where the funny part was like I was in Mexico and they did a hardcore wrestling match before our match, and I'm like, what? And so there was glass tubes everywhere, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, why? Just why? And I was younger, and at the same time, I'm kind of like, okay, well, whatever. But then in my mind, I'm still like, why? that glass, everyone's like, yeah, no, I wouldn't do it. Because you always figure maybe you could get away with something here or there. And then I'm like, yeah, no. And if people are going to see my feet, I guess you're going to have to pay for me if that's going to be the case. I was like, yeah, no, I didn't know about those kind of people. But yeah, no, I just, like Jenna Kai does it. And
Yes.
I think it's pretty awesome. I almost would still want to wrestle barefoot if gimmick provided and more things, but I'm kind of over that. I'm okay without it. I'll keep my boots.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. It's now once again time for that segment. Claudia's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads and weird, crazy, and bizarre things about to happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Oh my gosh. Ooh, let's see. Road story. I'm trying to think. Man, you really got me on that. I wish I would have known that one like pre. Let's see. I could say like even driving at night is pretty crazy when you see like things in the air like UFOs.
Ooh.
Like you don't know what they are. Like yeah, you see some pretty weird lights towards like Washington area. The last time I went was pretty cool because you saw things move and it was like, whoa, that's not a comment. Then it was me, Athena, and Simply Luscious in the car. And Athena was in the front seat. I'm in the back seat, I believe, or vice versa. Simply Luscious is driving, and she has her dog with her. She always had a weenie dog with her. And she slams on the brakes, and this weenie dog goes flying all the way into where we're at in the front seat of the car, just swams. It was hilarious. It wasn't bad. I mean, the dog survived. But we were laughing because he was just enjoying his little trip with his mom. He was sitting there on the console, like towards the back. Athena was in there just kind of resting and sleeping, and then boom. And it's not like she hit anything. She just slammed on the brakes pretty quick, I think, for a light or something. We just started busting out laughing because that was a small little road trip. And the same trip, we were in Arkansas, and we went to go see Jazz. So Jazz and Simply Luscious are just chatting it up. And of course, Simply Luscious is Latin. And oh gosh, I can't think of him. And Jazz is black, and of course Athena's black, and I'm Latin too. And they're all giggling and they're laughing and everything, and me and Dina are looking at each other, laughing and giggling, and we said, "Look, it's us in the future," and we all started busting out laughing because right there we kind of saw the generation, of where you're at in wrestling at that life because we were younger, yeah. So, but it's just good old times and everything. It's just fun stuff.
No, I love that. And as an owner of a Dachshund myself, I can relate.
They want to be everywhere, but they can't. And then you don't tie them up, and then they fall through the cracks.
Oh, and even if you tie them up, they get loose and they go where they want.
Oh Lord.
They do what they want. All right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about your love of She-Hulk?
Okay. It started. I'm a big superhero fan. I love superheroes. Think they're awesome. Rogue used to be my favorite. And you know how some people just not ruin it for you, but you're like, damn, that was my character. So somebody, I wouldn't say ruin it, like I said, but they just kind of took my character, and I was like, damn, I can't be that. And I was like, I never was that person. Maybe not. Just didn't relate to me. And then She-Hulk, of course, I learned the backstory with that. I had so much fun learning and being the strongest one at the time. So I went with all the gear. I went with the fact that she's like that bodybuilder pose. And yeah, she just became my favorite. So I got gear like her. I got the boots like her. I also did Red She-Hulk too for Halloween. So yeah, I have the T-shirts, and I just like She-Hulk. That was just my thing. I mean, Rogue was awesome because she was able to, take people's power as well, and still be strong after she took Miss Marvel's power. But She-Hulk was one of those things where she, Bruce Banner was on her, on the deathbed, and blood right there, and then boom, all of a sudden she was just phenomenally strength, a lot of strength, and her confidence was through the roof. And it's one of those things where when you're in your best and you feel your best, your confidence is through the roof. Possibilities are endless because your mindset changes. And I always felt like I related to that because there's times where I was in the gym or I felt this way. I put myself in the position to feel better. It followed through. And that was why I liked her so much. That's why I related to her.
Let's talk. We'll get back to She-Hulk in a minute. Rogue. How did you feel about her in the X-Men movies?
I don't feel like they portrayed her character as they should have in the comic books. And I'm okay with that because they're kind of, when you watch the movies, they're out for one thing. They're out there to put asses in the seat, and it's kind of like whipping things together in a short period of time, only 2 hours. But I liked it because it was like, oh, they have the character in there. Did she do a lot? No. I was waiting for something more of like the comic book, or even in the 1990s, and Everybody Hates, the cartoon, because it was a cartoon of the 90s, and everybody's like, now they're all about anime. But even back then, for me, that was all like, to be continued. No. So, and I know I wasn't the only one because my dad would tease me because that was like our cartoon to watch. And as soon as he saw the be continued, he would grab me and kind of do that shake and scare thing, you do to your kids. And I was like, no. And it sucked. It was like, my dad knew it was a be continued. He's like, I bet you anything. And I'm like, no. And it was be continued. I was like, damn it.
No, I love that X-Men series. Still legitimately one of the best theme songs of all time.
Oh, yeah, that was my ringtone for the longest. Absolutely.
Yeah. Alright, back to She-Hulk. How did you feel about the live-action show on Disney Plus?
I haven't even watched it.
Oh.
I want to watch it. I don't. If anybody has a password for me on Disney Plus, I'm down because I have not watched it yet. Right now, me and my fiance are on Yellowstone. Okay. So, exactly, I'm behind too. Apparently, like I'm on 3rd season or something like that. And I even have a coworker at my job that's all like, "Oh, I'm already done with it," and I'm like, "Ooh." And this is a little old lady telling me that. I'm like, "Damn it, you."
Oh well. I don't want to make you jealous, but it's a good series.
Yeah, I didn't realize how good it was. We had visited a friend of ours, and her mother, rest in peace, but she went ahead and was like, "Hey, I'm watching this." And my fiance watched a little bit of the episode. I didn't get to, but he was like, "Yeah, let's try it." And the friend went ahead and told me, she's like, "You're going to have to wait till about 3rd episode, and then it really gets you." And I'm like, "Oh, it's like a Game of Thrones." Game of Thrones took me about like a 30 episode kind of thing. No. First episode, I was like, man, this is good. It was really good. I underestimated it. So, yeah, that, and I hear a lot of people talk about like 1923 or 1932, something like that. I have no idea, but it's a prequel to Yellowstone. I know this has nothing to do with wrestling, but I'm a little invested in it. Right now, this is how we spend family time together.
Was family time also going to Renaissance fairs?
Yes, we like Renaissance fair. That's one of our things that's pretty cool, is dressing up and getting to get out there, take a turkey leg, a few drinks, and, walk around having everybody else do it. The costumes are amazing. I love that. And this year, he actually bought me, it's not a shawl. I forgot what it's called. I don't know what it is. But it's basically a cover made from the wool, and I felt so warm. It's awesome. But, yeah, and every year I try and buy something so the next year I can wear that, and that, because it's so expensive there. So expensive. But yeah, we like going there. We like going to the King's Feast. I've never been to the King's Feast before, and I've been to the Renaissance Fair a couple of times. And when he took me, he's like, "You've never been to the King's Feast?" I was like, "No, what is it?" I didn't even know it existed in there. And it's a full, like, 2 hours, I guess, of people entertaining you, and there are amazing women that in there, and later on the pirates come and they sing to you. But while this is going on, you're getting fed a full 5-course meal. And like, how awesome is that? So the whole time that you don't have, this is what we do for the whole month: no carbs, or we straight out, like, no drinking, no nothing. So by the time we get there, oh my gosh, it is awesome. We're just having a blast, laughing and singing, friends, dressing up, and just playing like the role that it would be back then, you know? So we enjoy our time.
Sounds like the ultimate cheat day.
Oh yeah, it is the ultimate cheat day. Absolutely. That's exactly where it is.
Alright, I dig it. Can you tell us about your love of Final Fantasy?
I don't have so much of a love of Final Fantasy. It's a pretty good storyline. Um, my daughter is named after Eris. Final Fantasy VII. It was her dad that presented me the name. The fact that Eris is the goddess of chaos is what I liked about it, and um, that's the reason why we've always liked the Final Fantasy. Like, I've got the story broken down, and I really like it. It's really cool. But as in, like, a hardcore, no. I was more of the X-Men. I was more of superheroes. I like more of those storylines better than I did. Yeah.
Alright. Well, it's time for the colossal question. Let's say they are making a movie about you, Claudia. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first 3 songs on the Claudia Solis wrestling movie soundtrack up to this point?
Okay. Definitely Incubus, Warning.
Okay.
You have The One by Soulfly and El Nino. Then you also have it features Jacoby, but it's the Who, Wolf Totem, and I really like Seven Dust. Um, what is this song? Gosh, I can't even remember the song's name. So that would definitely. I'm gonna go with that. Yeah.
Alright. Solid picks. I mean, do you lock them in?
I do, absolutely.
Alright. Now that we got the soundtrack out of the way, the script's gonna be made, time for casting. Who plays Claudia? And you can't say yourself because you're legally obligated to make a Stan Lee-esque cameo.
Right. Let's see. Hmm. I would know that question, man. There's nobody else that's like, you know what? I would have to say, just randomly, the worst person to pick out, but like the most awesome. That I like Jennifer Lawrence. I love Jennifer Lawrence. I love her spirit. I love everything about her. She's so random, and she's just one of those people. And I say like because I can relate to how she feels on some things. Is she tells her stuff, and it's almost like delusional in her head. She's like, "Why did I say this?" But she still keeps going. So it's like a slight filter, but not much of it. And she's like, "I'm just playing. I'm sorry." and I happen to do that. And I don't know why, because it's like, why did I say that? That just didn't happen. Or you're like, hey, yeah, no, I shouldn't have did that either. Never mind, I'll be quiet. And you just sit down, or you sit down and you're thinking all these things. Yeah. But I really like her. I really do. A lot of clips and everything that I see of her, I just love her.
Right. And she was mistaken X-Men, so we're keeping that trend going of Marvel.
Yeah. We're keeping her in Marvel.
Yeah. Now every movie has a supporting cast. Who would be 3 people in your movie, and who would play them?
Mm, 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 mm. Man, you're asking good stuff. I've never thought about this. Never thought about this. So I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I really don't know. I don't have anything on this.
Alright, it's just Jennifer Lawrence. It's a one-woman show.
It's a one-woman show. I don't know. It's like the random actors I mean that are fun or that already are in Marvel, but let's just bring like um random ones out and be like John Leguizamo. How about that? We'll do that one. And it's got to be totally off people completely. Like you can't put like a coordination of people because that's just not how my mind works, you know. And let's see the next one. Let's go.
Who's Zorro playing in your movie?
We're gonna say a random brother who isn't,
Okay.
but we'll do that. Yeah. I'll make up random brother. You know, that'll be fine.
Fair enough. You got two more?
Unless I'm trying to think. It's like if I even knew anybody who acts, I don't. Let's go this way. Let's see. And then I'm gonna randomly Google people and be like, I don't like this person. Let's go with actors. See, actors.
We could leave it up to the casting director if you prefer.
No. They're gonna do a bad job. Oh, you know what? I love Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro is a good actor. So we'll do that.
Alright.
Yeah. And we'll play Samuel L. Jackson. He's got to be my dad.
Sweet.
We'll figure it out.
I don't remember Samuel L. Jackson and Robert De Niro in the same movie, but I dig it and I love it, and I think this is sounding like an awesome movie.
Yeah. See, like things work out.
You could pre-order the tickets now.
Yeah.
Alright, onto a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Amazing. It's amazing. I wouldn't have it any other way. But you can't put it with like a vegetable supreme. It doesn't work that way. You have to put it as in like a Hawaiian.
With the ham.
That's right.
Okay. Alright. What's your
That was an easy question.
Huh?
That was a really, really easy question.
You would be surprised with some of the answers we've gotten on this show.
No way.
Yes, there's people that are very pro pineapple on pizza, and there are people that are very anti pineapple on pizza.
They never make the final cut, do they?
Well, if you do you know about Pizza Party Pro? They're a wrestling company.
No, I've never heard of them.
Yeah, they literally based a whole event around people that are pro pineapple on pizza versus people that are anti pineapple on pizza. It was
That is awesome.
one of the most controversial shows ever.
Wow.
Yeah, we were part of it, and we were an unofficial sponsor. All right. What's your spirit Pokemon?
Oh God. So when all that started, I was younger, so it wasn't. I don't know all the new ones.
A lot of people do, honestly.
You know what? I'm just gonna go Bulbasaur because that's my Bulbasaur.
Sweet.
It's not something like I'd love to be like a Ninetales, you know, awesome, beautiful, blah 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 blah, or Charmander, whatever. Yeah, no. Probably a Bulbasaur.
No, gotta respect the OGs.
And see, like I love Cubone, but come on, I mean, I don't want to wear my mom's dead head around me.
We love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Thug? THUG.
No.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, because a Doug can't spell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was his catchphrase. We love Tracy trying to keep the mummy alive.
Oh, that's cool. I gotta say that to somebody.
Yeah. Um, the weirdest question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview. Would you ever consider wrestling a rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual rock.
Hmm. No, never. Couldn't do it.
Could couldn't wrestle the rock? A rock?
No, no. It's too out of my league way. It's too much experience. I'd have to watch a lot just to study. I'm good.
Well, just for
I,
context, there's this wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled in actual rock for over 15 minutes in a tungsten man match, an Iron Man match that lasts for 2 weeks.
I gotta see this.
It's definitely something. I'll send you the match.
That's gotta be awesome.
Um, yeah, it's definitely a sight to behold. All right. On a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Probably having my own business.
Hmm.
I'd like that. I'd like that a lot.
May I ask what kind
I'd
of
like to
business?
own a lot of land and have a lot of dogs and one chicken
Oh, why one chicken?
because I don't think I can handle two.
Fair enough. What kind of business are you looking to open?
I can't tell you. I can't say anything until I actually do it.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
Alright, and what is a match that people should what's a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what you're all about?
I don't know. Let's see. I don't even know what's on there anymore. I've got so much different stuff on there. Um, I don't have one. I really don't.
Hmm, okay.
Yeah, no, I really don't. Check them all out.
Well, I'll look through YouTube and I'll find a match that I feel would best show off what you're all about, and I'll put that in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox for anybody that wants to see it,
Sure.
hasn't seen it, wants to revisit it.
Absolutely.
And since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview, we are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is our speed round, our bonus round, the round where we see who you really are. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Ooh, Dean Malenko.
Worst wrestler.
Wait, what'd you say? What is stressful?
No, worst wrestler.
Worst wrestler? Ooh, The Rock. Not The Rock, that A Rock that you were talking about.
You're telling me that the Rock that is the world champion, is the worst wrestler of all time?
Absolutely.
All right. Von Vertigo, if you're listening, book the damn match. You're main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who is your opponent?
Luna Vachon.
Oh, sweet. If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Hardy Boys.
Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
Barely alive on a respirator.
You would have also accepted taste great on toast. Squash. Fruit or vegetable?
Food.
Fruit, you said?
Oh, I'm sorry. Squash. Wait. Only if it has seeds.
So
It's
you're saying,
spaghetti, too.
is squash a fruit or a vegetable?
Well, technically, I don't know if it has seeds in it, but if it has seeds, then it's a fruit.
And if that's what you're thinking, then you would be correct. It is indeed a
Yeah.
fruit.
Yay!
New Japan wrestler Taichi His ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
2%.
2%?
Yep.
Alright. And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
No.
And that is the correct answer.
Yes.
That will conclude this interview. Thank you so much for coming on and talking.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And once again, where can we find all things Claudia?
That's going to be basically Facebook, Instagram. There's some things on Twitter. If you just search underneath them, just about everything's available on there. Which is I only use those 3 platforms.
Right, and people can DM you for merchandise, correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Alright, and you don't need to throw that into your Google machine. Simply go into the description of the video below. All of her links for all of her social medias will be in there. Simply click the link and you will be on a new tab will appear on whatever device you're on. You have no excuse. Buy a damn shirt. Alright. Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, but on YouTube and Castbox. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for more incredible interviews. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at WRESTLINGWITHE for information on who went to and when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. You can follow Scooter at ScooterDust. And on the Remix, the only live alternative commentary for WWE PLEs on YouTube. Alright, Claudia, when I say wrestling, you say entertainment, okay?
Sure.
For our very special guest, Claudia Solis, Calico Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.